Hi everyone, welcome back. Today on the start of your week, I'm going to bring you a little painting video. It's not all that exciting though, I have to say. When I had a look at all the videos from panel one, this is the large commission I'm working on. This is the top panel. This will be the top of the painting. When I played it back, I was like, oh God, I really wasn't doing a lot in this video, but I thought even though I wasn't doing a lot in the video, I think it was still important to show it to you all to have an understanding of how abstract paintings are created. When you're working on a piece this large, it's not created overnight, and there are certain things that you have to do to each layer to make adjustments and modifications and stuff like that. So yes, I am going into high-speed painting just for a minute, because if you notice that I'm actually not really painting yet, I am using a black China marker to just outline and chisel in some areas that I need to pay attention to that are in the original composition that I am referring to for this piece. So there's a couple of questions that have come up in the comments that I just wanted to clear up. And I think this is always the best way, because I'm the only one who reads the comments, but there is a wealth of information weaved through there because I do respond to your questions. At least for now I am. I do have aspirations that my channel is going to blow up. There's going to be a million people. There'll never be any way that I can keep up with all the comments. But anyway, that's what I'm putting out into the universe. Okay, so anyway, what was I saying? Clearing up. I don't know what I was going to clear up. We'll keep talking, or I'll keep talking, and then we'll try and figure it out as we go. Sorry, sometimes when I step near the camera, it alters the light, so I apologize for the brightness there. And now I'm back to regular speed. Okay, so what did I want to clear up? I think the thing that I wanted to clear up is when I'm painting an original abstract painting, I have been asked a few times if I'm referencing a photo, but I want you guys to think about that for a little bit. If I'm an intuitive painter, what photo would I be referencing? The only photo that exists is internal. It's something that I'm feeling. It's something that I'm thinking about. It's about how I feel that moment when my brush hits the canvas. It's about sometimes the colors that I choose. It's sometimes whether things happen in the moment. How else can I say that? Intuitive means really there's no preconceived notion. It's just about being in the moment and expressing yourself through paint, through color, through line, through dance sometimes. And so there's absolutely no photograph that I'm referencing because it doesn't exist yet. Until I put it onto canvas, that painting did not exist in our world. It only really lived in my brain. So there's that. And then on this painting, this 18 feet by 13 feet painting, there is a photo that does exist because the buyer picked an earlier painting of mine to reference from. And so that's why if you're looking at this video and you're wondering, why do I keep looking to the right? I think it's to the right. For you guys, it might be the left. I don't really know. I'm assuming it's to the left, but if you notice, I am looking up and over, and I'm just making sure that I am on task with what I'm supposed to be painting, the image that is. And so I have to, it is so complicated for me. I don't know how it is for other abstract painters, but to paint a painting intuitively means that image doesn't exist until I apply it and place it onto canvas. And then to have to go back and recreate that image is very complicated because if you are noticing, my paintings are created with multitude of layers and washes and glazes and thick paint and thin paint and different colors. And I love going in with one color and then putting a wash over the second color to alter that color. And so when I do that, if I don't remember those steps, because it's impossible to remember those steps sometimes unless you're writing it down, which disrupts the flow of painting, it's really hard to remember how to do that. Or not that I don't remember how to do it, but I can't remember the color combinations that I used to create the piece in the first place. So, so there's that. I think I cleared that up. I hope I cleared that up. If not, by all means, send me a comment. I usually am on, like I keep, the comments give me a ding on my phone, so I'm pretty good at responding, quickly, unless I'm painting. And if I'm painting, then that's kind of a different story. So what I'm doing here still is, this is the underpainting of the final image. So this is not how it's going to look, even though I love the way it looks right now, and I could have made a pretty awesome painting with this loose color combination, how the colors are flowing together, the lines are really loose, but that isn't what the final image looks like, and I have to stick to that. So I'm under requirements to paint what the customer has or what the customer wants. So I know a few of you have said, "Oh, it looks great like this. Don't change it." But I'm not painting for me right now. I'm painting for a client, and that's the difference between a commission and just regular painting. You are bound by the requirements of what the client wants, and I mean, I love the original image because it's still my work, and I painted it. So I think they picked a very good piece for the space that it's going to be going into. All right. The second thing that I want to talk about today is, I can't believe how many of you are interested in where I got a big canvas like this. Never in a million years. And I'm a full-time artist. Would I have watched a video like this and have wanted to get a canvas this large to paint on? I would never have wanted that. Because the space that it took to get this, or the challenges that it took to get this piece, these three pieces into my place, was priceless. I actually had to build like a stick long enough and carry it in from the unit, like right from outside all the way into my unit. And it was, I think, 13 feet in length, to make sure that I knew that I could fit this piece into my place. So painting something this large isn't, I mean, it's fun, certainly. I wish I was intuitively painting. I think that would maybe make a difference. But if you don't have a place for this to go once you're done painting, that's a big painting to store. So I don't think anyone should attempt a size like this unless it's been commissioned, and that you know that it's going to be leaving your studio once you're finished. I can't tell you how excited I am to finish this piece. First, I think it's a huge feat that I'm tackling. And yes, I was afraid. And yes, this is a big project. And yes, I had many sleepless nights about this painting, whether I was going to successfully be able to complete it or not. So I completely forgot where it's. Every time I dance, I should just not look at the video. Every time I dance, I lose my train of thought. Anyway, okay, so about the size of this painting. Canvas. Okay, what was I going to say? People have asked, where do you buy a canvas this size? Well, you can't just go to an art store and have canvases, 6 feet high and 13 feet wide. This is a custom order. And I have a little local company here in Toronto. I'm not going to keep giving out their name just because they're getting flooded with, customers coming in. So just to be respectful to them, I'm not going to toot their horn anymore. Otherwise, none of us artists are ever going to get our canvases anymore. Okay, so yes, they did make this for me. There are some companies around I know there's one in Owen Sound. By all means, you could use them. Upper Canada Stretchers. I will give them a referral. Their stuff is extremely expensive though, but very well made and very professionally made. I use the company here in Toronto because they're local here, and I have been using them for a couple of years. And so they created this piece for me, and then were able to deliver it. It does, even though I know it looks massive, it actually does fit in it came in one of those like Mercedes-Benz vans, like the big, heavy duty vans. They look like they're on steroids, with the extended back end. So it did fit in there. And all three just, go side by side. So that was an easy transportation. These are not being shipped. There is the destination that they are going to is a downtown condo lobby here in Toronto, which is maybe about 2-3 kilometers from my unit, which is amazing. So it'll be, I don't want to jinx myself, but it should be an easy transportation to get them to the condo. And because they're in 3 pieces, they'll fit into the lobby and through the front door, and then they'll be installed onto the wall. I am hiring a company to do that. That isn't something that I am going to tackle because it's 18 feet in the air and I'm only one person. So I really stick to, God, it's like I drank way too much coffee this morning. And I really don't. I only have like 1 cup in the morning. I stick to painting. That's where I shine. That's what my knowledge is about. So I hire people who are the experts in their field. So I'm hiring a company, art installation company, to tackle mounting this piece to the wall. A few of you have asked about framing, if I frame my paintings. And again, I'm not a framer. I don't have any technical skills in that area. I have made some floating frames in the past, but when your business starts to grow, you really have to niche down and focus on what's important. And for me, painting is important, and that's really all I want to do. So if I do all these other tasks, then it really takes away from how often I can practice painting. And I say practice because I'm always learning. You should never stop growing as an artist. You should never stop exploring and expanding on your body of work. So what else was I going to say? I'm looking at the blank screen right now. I should have cut a little bit of that out. Okay, so I haven't talked about anything I've done in this painting, so I apologize for that. But I want you to take care, maybe you should watch this twice, but if you notice that the overall image is not really changing a lot, even though I have been painting this probably for about 45 minutes now, because I did do some speed painting. I did do some editing to cut out some parts. And yes, I do sing at the same time, which does not sound good because I am a horrible singer and I have headphones on. Okay, so right there, if you saw, I was doing some pointing my brushes, and I was kind of I was doing some measuring, trying to get my pieces where they need to go, like the images that I'm trying to transfer onto this large canvas. So anyway, what I was saying was the image isn't really changing a lot. And that's because this is how you start to build up those layers. First, you work really fast and furious, and you throw that paint onto the canvas, and that's all the underpainting. And the underpainting is just about getting the tone of the painting so that when you come back with the colors that lay on top, the image is where you need it to be, the colors are where you want it to be. And so this is why this is taking forever and the image isn't changing. So I'm just overlaying light washes of color. mapping them out, putting them in the places of where they need to go. And it's really not that exciting, this video, and I really have to apologize, but I want you guys to see that sometimes painting isn't always that exciting. Also, that a piece like this doesn't just get painted overnight. You have to work a little bit at a time and just keep chipping away at it. So again, this is like, even though that's like that area is like white, it's not white. You can see the two tones of colors that are starting to peek through. I'm using two brushes at the same time. That's a real helpful trick that I use. Is, you know, acrylics can be a real pain in the butt because they don't blend like oil paints. And so if you keep two brushes in your hand and you're using a medium that keeps the paint open, like the open time of that paint longer. I did skip ahead. Did you see that? Sorry. It was, all I was doing was just whitewashing in areas, and I didn't feel like that was all that exciting. So I skipped ahead a little bit. And you can see how it's cleaned up those areas, right? I know I was talking about something and now I've forgotten. Here I'm just using some spray. I just want to alter the fresh paint that I have put down to put some lines in there. Not lines, drips. Oh, the open time. If you change the open time of your acrylic paint by adding a retarder that slows the drying time down, then you can work two brushes. Again, you see I still have two things in my hands. I have a brush and I have my squeegee. And this is one way that you can really work on the blending part of your paints to soften up those hard edges. Is you use one brush that contains the paint and the medium, and then another brush in your other hand that is a dry brush. And that dry brush will, as you apply the paint, you use the dry brush to move it around, soften the areas, and blend it in. And you do have to work quickly. There's just no other way about it. That's the blessing and the curse of acrylic paints. Okay, so it's 18 minutes and I haven't stopped talking once. And I really hope I'm not boring you all. So again, little delicate touches, mapping out the area of where I want to go. And you can see how the painting is starting to clean up. It's becoming tighter and tighter and tighter. And that's what the image is. So like the original image. But the only way, you know, I could just go in and paint it clean like this, but it's not going to have that intuitive feel to it. It's not going to have those beautiful layers that are going to be luminescent and translucent that will want to draw you into the painting. It's just going to be flat, and paintings that are flat usually aren't that interesting. So this is why you have to overpaint and then slowly take away to add that depth. So guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm sorry that this painting isn't quite as exciting as the other ones, but it's not always that glamorous here. So stay tuned. I'm going to bring you another video this week, hopefully about the business side of art.